Well, we are ready for 90 minutes of SFL action coming to you live to end your Friday night with a bang as the Atlanta Swarm take on the Oklahoma City Renegades on the Virtual Football Network. Hello, everyone. Cameron Duty here once again with the great Anthony Ellison. And Anthony, we've got ourselves an intriguing matchup tonight. Both of these teams, old foes. They met on 4 previous occasions, with Atlanta winning every time. However, these two teams haven't played each other since season 13, so a lot of time has passed. And we're getting ready to write a new chapter in this classic SFL matchup. While both of these teams are on the outside looking in at the playoffs, winning against an old foe is something to be proud of on the season. What keys to victory are you looking at for both of these squads tonight, my friend?
On one side, you have Atlanta, Cameron, and you have veterans on that team with BDG Hollywood, Drew Chisholm. On the defensive side, Alex Dominguez, and you have that. But then on Oklahoma City, you have a lot of young players there that's just growing and developing. They're going through growing pains, but they get better every single game. So the key to the game is really seeing what Oklahoma City has done throughout the season and to see if they can keep building on it.
In regards to building, Oklahoma City coming off their first victory of the season, their first victory since they returned to the SFL this year. And it's certainly got them feeling good, feeling optimistic, as we will see Atlanta take the field first this evening, led by quarterback Bryant Dynasty. The halfbacks are Hubba Kimbrell, BGG Hollywood. The fullback is Satori Hanzo. The wide receivers Fox Highwind, Siege Falco, and Boo Chisholm, and Ryan Roosevelt. The tight end is Why Not Airlet. The 2 tackles Sam Falco and Carter Hollywood. The 2 guards are Bobby Falco and Roy McCrory. And at center, Astro Smith. As we begin the game with a throw, a quick pickup on first down to Why Not Airlet, and another first down already for the Swarm.
And Dynasty, I like that coming just straight off like from the jump with a pass right here. And didn't want to run the ball. They want to get some yardage early. I love just a quick pass. It's like a run. Let the receiver do the running.
Throwing over the middle, and this offense is humming to start this game. 2 straight passes, 2 straight completions to Why Not Airlet.
Yep. Let's see. They're going to attack Oklahoma City's secondary right here. So we're going to see Raines, Rahman, and Rahman Jr. be tested early and often. Those safeties that are going to step up in the box and make a play, or this is going to be a long game right here. Atlanta, back-to-back passes early in the drive.
Dynasty looking to have a great game coming into this. He's got 7 touchdowns on the season to 21 interceptions, but coming out of the gate strong. And we have yet to see a second down in this game, as another completion that time for the first.
Yeah, and they attack over again in the middle. 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hands on that third step, which is really key here. Once again, they're attacking the middle linebackers right there. Jag McPherson has to play better zone coverage.
That was the tight end coming off the bench, Jeff Kostrewa, on that reception a minute ago, as we now have a run, the first one of the day by BDG Hollywood. Let's take a moment and introduce you guys to this Oklahoma City defense. The defensive end is Shane Yonetta, and the linebackers are Jad McPherson, Sabo Kanan, and Aaron Gooden. The cornerbacks are Pharaoh Raines, Thomas and Rahman, and Thomas and Rahman Jr. And that's strong safety, Josh Vasquez. 5-yard gain on first down, sets up 2nd and 5, and a good carry. Picking up another first down, dunking and diving, is Hubba Kimbrell.
And, I love the patience on that run. It was going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but I love the patience, watching the holes develop. Good job. You got 2 rookies on the offensive line, Falco and McCrory right there, and they did a good job kicking out their blockers.
3 receivers at the top, but they keep it on the ground, and it's the Hall of Famer BDG Hollywood who goes backwards for a loss. The first stop of the evening for Oklahoma City pushes them to a 2nd and goal here.
All right, Atlanta sitting 12th with red zone touchdowns right here. Let's see if they can add to it.
Pressure coming, and Good job of Dynasty, able to get rid of that one and finds Fox Highland in one-on-one coverage and gets very close to the goal line. That's going to set up an intriguing third and a couple of yards.
And my apologies, they're 24th right here with less than a touchdown for the red zone. So let's see if they can just add to it on their side.
Third and goal on the ground with Hollywood diving, and he gets the touchdown. A very dominating first drive, and showing a little more domination at the end of that play was Hollywood would not be denied, and he takes the leap into the end zone for 6.
Good job by the fullback, kicking out the defender. I love it. Saw the blocking and just bounced it outside for 6. That's a drive that was set the tone for the game right here. Didn't have any hiccups. Passed it early. Once the pass was set up, now you can run the ball because the lanes were open.
The extra point is good by kicker Sammy Steele. And they lead by 7 early in this ball game. Now for BDG Hollywood, that's his 3rd touchdown on the season. And for his career now, BDG Hollywood has 181 touchdowns. That is the 2nd most all time.
And a great way to start the drive there. 4 for 4 for Dynasty. Passed it 4 times, ran it 4 times. That's what you call balance on the offensive side.
Now we'll get an opportunity to see what this Oklahoma City offense can do as we will say hello to their starters. Led by quarterback Colin Pierce, the 2 halfbacks in the backfield, Jacob Brewer and Frank Udon, and the fullback, Tiberius Bovine. The 2 wide receivers, Christian Bachigalupi and Dallas Sanders, and at tight end, Jonathan Kilgore and Stephen McMichaels. Oklahoma City coming off of their upset victory last week, wanting to do more of the same here this week, but they get started on a ground play with Udon, and it goes for a loss of 1.
And for Oklahoma City, I want to see growth and development on their offensive side. You know, when they get into the passing lane and they can't pass the ball, they've been having a tough time running the football. Let's get some good short passes to start out with.
Pressure coming, but it is picked up by the offensive line, giving Pierce time to throw over the middle, but good defense by the Atlanta Swarm, led by Chris Henry. They're the strong safety. Let's introduce you to the rest of this defense. The defensive ends, Wolf Highwind and Baron Went. The defensive tackle, Alex Dominguez. The linebackers, Jeff Spicoli and Aquanta Shine. The cornerbacks, Anthony Wayo and Zach Lay and Jay Miraculous. And the safeties, Moose Papado, Grant Hardway, and as we mentioned earlier, Chris Henry. And stepping up to run is going to be the quarterback, Colin Pierce. He tries to make something out of it, gets close to the first down marker, but eventually will be turned away. Oklahoma has to punt.
Yeah, and they just put a spy on Colin Pierce right there. Good job by the offensive line for OK City to protect Colin Pierce. It gave him some time, but the receivers are just covered downfield. Just ran what they got them, slid before the first down. 3 and out.
And a return here for Atlanta. They'll start at the 38-yard line. Thanks to each and every one of you who are joining us tonight on YouTube on the Virtual Football Network here and our chat. We thank everyone who's getting involved in the conversation. Also, big thanks to Ron Haynes and Mark Mello on stats tonight. And, of course, Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. Now, for Oklahoma City, we will mention, we talked about that upset victory. They beat the Indianapolis Ramblers by a score of 30-27 last week. For Atlanta, they're trying to stop a 2-game losing skid, losing to Carolina, their divisional foe, and the Denver Nighthawks the weeks prior. And I tell you what, you need a rebound game, and this is so far going perfect, textbook for Atlanta Fox Highwind with the first down grab.
Back-to-back drives, back-to-back passing to open with. This is just a scissors route. So your tight end did a post corner, and then you had your receiver doing a post over the middle, and they crossed at the point. Had a little confusion by the linebacker right there who they're going to cover, and they just exploit the middle of the field again.
Atlanta currently sits 3rd in the East Division. They are neck and neck with the Florida Storm. Florida Storm 4-5 coming into this week. Atlanta 4-6. That to this point has been a runaway division with the Carolina Skyhawks at 7-4. If you put that into a little bit of perspective where they are at in their division. this point in the season. Gain of 2 on first down, 2nd and 8. Dynasty to drop back to throw wide open. Quick release. And the catch is made by Ryan Roosevelt for the first. And another thing that Dynasty is doing, Anthony, is good pass distribution to many different receivers.
Yeah, spread it out right there. They saw that the coverage was backed off way too much right there. I really like how they want to get the ball out of Dynasty's hand quickly to start the drive. So the fact is, 3-step drop. Watch on that 3rd step. The ball is out of his hands.
Atlanta moving again. Good protection this time. And that pass, though, incomplete with good coverage downfield by Oklahoma City. And that one just gets away from the intended target. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And both of these teams, like you said, Cameron, earlier, they're outside of the playoffs looking in. You still can do some work. This is the stuff that builds teams in the future. It builds on to next season. So you want to work on what plays work, what formations, and take a look at players maybe that haven't had the most time and see how much you can grow and develop them.
Another pass play coming and another deflection. It looked for just a moment that Why Not Airlet was going to be able to break that one loose. Falls incomplete. Good defensive play there, but I think that also goes a little bit more on Airlet. Looked like it was kind of right there on his numbers, just not able to bring it in.
Yeah, it looks like it was just, if it's going to hit your hands, you got to come down with it.
Big 3rd and 10. Here we go as we see Dynasty rolling out, throwing off his back foot, and throwing deep into double coverage. And so the Oklahoma City defense able to do its job on this side of the field as Pharaoh Reigns gets the credit for the deflection.
And we saw right there why we saw 21 interceptions from Dynasty this season. It's dangerous when you have nobody blocking the back and they send pressure. That's exactly what you do as a defense. If they're going 5 wide, you send the house and don't give that quarterback time.
This is a 49-yard attempt by Sammy Steele. The 10-season man is good on that kick. All 10 seasons here in Atlanta. They love this guy, sure-footed, and he puts the Swarm up by 10 with 4:14 remaining in the opening quarter of play.
Yeah, he had an incredible season, first in the league in field goals made. Longest of the year, 53 yards, and that's the longest from anybody this season. It's always good to get somebody with a short leg like that.
Good return by Jacobs to set Oklahoma City up nicely at their 30-yard line with, as we said, 4:09 remaining in this game, or in this first quarter. I apologize. It's getting started here late on the East Coast. We appreciate you all letting us be a part of your nightcap. Oklahoma breaking the huddle, needing to put together a good solid drive here. First down from the 30, Pierce under center. Looking to pass over the middle, and it is complete, and it doesn't get much better than that. And that is their tight end, Stephen McMichaels, who has certainly been a favorite target of Pierce this season.
Just been a all-pro the whole season right here. 2 tight ends on the left side. You saw McMichaels just doing the post over the middle. The other tight end was doing the flat. And I love the depth of the route. Got far enough behind the linebacker and then just shallowed out right in front of the safety. And that's exactly what you do when you want to give your quarterback the right target.
So Oklahoma tries a quick three-step drop of their own, and that is incomplete. You know, back to Stephen McMichaels there, Anthony. This guy, 10 seasons in the league, previously with Vancouver, comes over to Oklahoma and has been such a breath of fresh air for this team.
And brings over leadership and experience right here that's only going to do nothing but good for Oklahoma.
Pierce now throwing again, looking his way, and he is hit head on. That looked like a violent car crash, as it was Chris Henry who met McMichaels there and jars the ball loose, incomplete. 3rd and 10 once more.
Big 3rd down coming up right here. I would look for McMichaels right there on the bottom side of the field, probably looking to do something over the middle.
Pressure coming, Pierce rolling out, throwing, and what a great read. Finds his man along the sideline, Christian Bacigalupi for the 1st and 10. Now, you pair Bacigalupi with Stephen McMichaels, and we talk about founding blocks, for foundations here, building blocks for this team. This is one of those.
Let's talk about that good throw on the run, and you know you leave yourself open to get hit. What a way to drive on that ball right there by Colin Pierce and deliver a strike. And like you said, Cameron, you have Christian, you have McMichaels. That's a good room to learn from if you're the rookies on this team.
Rolling out again, throwing, working really well for him all of a sudden as Tiberius Bovine finds himself downfield with another 1st and 10 as these Renegades have all of a sudden come to life.
Yeah, and it took a couple passes. You know, you're exploring the zone coverage of Atlanta right here, moving the football, which is really promising here. Rolling out to the right, the strong side of the field. You got protection. That was a nice drag route coming from the backside.
Pierce again, scrambling, throwing deep, and it's caught over the head of the defender. It is McMichaels for the touchdown.
That is a pure, confident drive. You saw Colin Pierce the whole drive find different targets, find McMichaels early and often, but you know what? It was just a confidence. The offensive line protected the way it was. Atlanta kept it really basic on defense, didn't show any pressure, and Oklahoma City tore up that zone coverage right there by Atlanta. What a way to get on the board.
Colin Pierce's 9th touchdown pass of the season, and for Stephen McMichaels, his 5th touchdown reception. And Oklahoma City draws within 3. .238 remaining in this first quarter of play. Camera duty here with Anthony Ellison, Ron Haynes, and Mark Mello in the stats truck, and Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. Pretty good return here by Atlanta, getting it out. And we will see what Atlanta wants to respond with as they'll set up shop. What do you do if you are Atlanta here? You know, your defense has given up a touchdown. It's a tighter game. Do you imagine them going any other route than what we've already seen in the last couple of series, Anthony?
And you saw them in the first drive right here. They started out with some early passes that opened up the running lane here, and that's what you're looking to do.
Another quick drop and a quick throw for a gain of 6 on 1st down, as once again finding Fox Highwind there. And that's a part of the field that they really like to attack. Atlanta likes to stay in between the hash marks, preferably, as you can already see some wear and tear on the field there. Go with the ground game. Back to Hollywood. Gets close to the 1st down, but is stopped just a yard short.
Atlanta coming in today with the most 3rd down conversion attempts, with over 12 a game right here. Another setup, 3rd and 1 here. I will keep it on the ground. I think you've been doing decent on the running game here. Just follow behind those offensive linemen.
Third and 1 lined up in the eye. Running left side. And gosh, that's going to be close, but they're going to say Hubba Kimbrell gets past that yellow line you see right there, past the sticks, and gets the 1st down.
Yeah, just got enough of the legs going forward, fell forward with the ball ahead of the 1st down marker here. So 1st down, looks like it will go back into the air. That
time, though, that run is read perfectly by this Oklahoma City defense and getting stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Credit on that tackle is going to be Clark.
Yeah, and Oklahoma City responded really well against the run this drive right here. The linebackers are shooting the gaps and stopping them before they can do anything on the ground.
Fox Highwind in motion to the top of your screen. With go to the left of quarterback Brian Dynasty. Again, a quick drop, and again, right on target with Why Not Airlet. And let's just talk a little bit about what Dynasty has done so far in this game. those type of passes, man, as quick as that football's leaving your hand, you got to be right on the money, or else that could be disaster.
You're going to your first read here, and you're just hoping the defense is slow to react. And so far, they have when Dynasty's doing the 3-step drop.
Powering forward, BDG Hollywood that time gets the 1st and 10. We may see one more play this first quarter.
And this is where I like for Atlanta's offense here. You know, you get a couple passes, and then you just go on the ground, just do a power run to that left side.
Atlanta opts to keep it in the huddle and let the clock run out on this first quarter as the Swarm leads the Renegades 10-7. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Welcome you back in to start this second quarter in Oklahoma. Beautiful spring night here. And a carry up the gut. Hollywood, boy, you talk about a durable halfback. I mean, obviously, to be, you know, Hall of Fame material such as BDG Hollywood, you have to be able to sustain in the long run. But he's just one of those rough and tumble guys who can take a hit and keep going.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 17 years. And just the wear and tear in the body and still performing at a top level is phenomenal.
Ooh, that pass maybe a little bit too early, as it looked as if Boo Chisholm not ready to get his hand up for that one. 3rd and 6 now coming up.
And Dynasty probably wants that throwback, because if you just make that throw in stride, Chisholm is going to be running for a little bit.
Yeah, there was nothing but open green field ahead. As we see Siege Falco moving in motion. 4 receivers lined up to the left of Dynasty. Plenty of time, but good coverage downfield, and a jarring hit on Ryan Roosevelt, delivered by Pharaoh Raines. And it's 4th and 6, and this Atlanta offense going to have to punt.
And good job by the Renegades right there. They did a corner blitz, and it was a zone corner blitz, and they disguised it really well. The outside was open, but you just saw Dynasty looking over the middle, and that's where the majority of the defenders were at.
Ken Miller with his first punt of the evening, and a fair catch called for at the 14-yard line by Oklahoma City. Folks, this is the perfect time to remind you that rooms are going fast for the 2025 SFL convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season. Mark your calendars for July the 10th through the 13th. If you want to go, you need to book your stay now. Join SFL Nation at the Rooftop Pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, and you can reserve your room now at a special group rate at simfl.net. 2nd and 10 now coming up, but yeah, just a quick reminder there to everyone, definitely get in there and get your room. You do not want to miss this party that is rapidly approaching. I can't believe, Anthony, that it's already the end of March here.
Yeah, this year is flying by.
Pierce rolling out, throwing deep. Double coverage downfield, and that ball falls harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, we're sitting at 2 more weeks left of the season, then we got the playoffs, where that's just exciting time. You don't want to miss any game, especially in the playoffs here, and it's just leading to man, this is the end of the season already.
You know, from what time I've been around here, I can tell you that this is the fastest season that I can ever recall being a part of. I mean, it's just blink and you miss it. A lot of action. Pierce now going to step up, trying to run out of the collapsing offensive line there, but he is going to be sacked by Wolf Highwind. 6'3", all 280 pounds, come crashing down on Pierce.
Yeah, and what a way not to give up on the player there. So just went around the tackle and was able to chase down Pierce before he can get any yardage right there. That could have been a first down. A good job by Atlanta's defense.
So the punter Feagles on to get rid of this one in the shadow of his own end zone, and a pretty good punt here, all things considered. Atlanta's going to have really good field position as Siege Falco gets it past midfield. They'll start on the 47-yard line. You know, that's something, looking at the stats coming into this game for Colin Pierce for Oklahoma. Sacked 30 times this season. That pressure, he has he has really had to deal with a lot of people in his face game after game after game.
And it's really tough to try to get completions right there when you don't have the most protection.
Look at this play by Why Not Airlet. Again, this has been their bread and butter so far through 1/4 of play here. Just a quick drop back by Bryant Dynasty and finding one of those big tight ends or receivers towards the middle of the field in one-on-one coverage, by the way.
And I love it. It's like, with the big frame of that, the receiver right there, able to shield off the defender and made the catch in stride.
A good night being turned in already by Why Not Airlet. Dynasty, plenty of time. Look at this, all day to go deep and find his man Roosevelt. And quickly, it's 1st and goal as Atlanta taking great advantage of that field position that they were given.
Great field position, but they're running great route combination right there. The safeties of OKC just playing too deep, and all they're doing is just running just 10-yard routes and just stopping in front of the defenders. And that's all you need. It just moves the football.
First and goal situation for the Swarm. Pressure coming, and they're going to get home. Dynasty missed one, but Sabo Kanan comes in at the end of it and delivers the sack, obliterating the quarterback.
Good job calling a heavy blitz here after giving up a deep pass because there was no pressure right there. Defensive coordinator said, hey, let's dial up a play. Let's move them out of their comfort zone right there, and that's a big sack.
The objective, obviously, for Oklahoma City now to try to pin Atlanta back to where a field goal attempt is all that they can muster. 2nd and goal. We'll see if they can keep this high-flying offense at bay. Showing pressure, they back off a little bit. Dynasty rolling out, going to step up, get a lot of yards back. Looked like he was about to go into the spin cycle there. Gets it past the 10, and it's 3rd and goal.
And I love it. There was nothing open. Maybe you look for your running back there, but we're just looking for daylight. Be careful. Don't want to hurt yourself. I know it's the end of the season and you're giving it all out there, but just slide. Protect yourself.
Dynasty 10 of 15 for 137 yards to this point, and make it. Another touchdown grab on the season for Bryant Dynasty, and connecting with Hattori Hanzo to extend their lead.
Yeah, I just love it. Just curl route, sit where the zone is open, and just deliver a strike. This is not fancy football here. It's just you realize what the defense is going to give you, and you're just going to just exploit it, sit in that coverage.
Fancy football, but it's good football, working to perfection. A quick drive of only 5 plays, and Atlanta extending their lead again out by 10 with 6:25 remaining in this fast-moving first half. For Dynasty, that is his 8th touchdown of the season. Oh, looking for a good run back here is OKC. Bachagalupi able to get him out to the 35-yard line. So good field position in response right there by the Renegades. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, just like Atlanta, when they had good field position, they took advantage of it. Now it's OKC's time. Recognize that you did have a good drive last one. You got some completions and you had good confidence to get the score here. Now you capitalize and you take advantage of what you did last drive and you add it to this one.
Those team stats, a big one there. First downs, 11 for Atlanta, only 3 for Oklahoma City. Pierce throwing, that's shades of what the Swarm has been doing this entire evening. A quick drop back, and McMichaels over the middle gets the first down on first down.
Yep. And you know, they've been working on 3-step drops. Atlanta now, OKC is coming out with it. One, I like these quick passes because it's not getting the defense time to recover, and then you're moving down the field. So it's just like a run because you're getting the ball out quickly and you let the receivers do the running for them.
And that brings up a really good point, which we'll get to in a moment. Pierce throwing, almost intercepted. Too high for the defender. Up there was Moose Papano trying to get his hands on it. And, you know, let's highlight this Atlanta defense, and really in particular, you know, Aquantis Shine and Alex Dominguez, a couple of players who've had good seasons so far. Anthony Wayo is another. You've got Jeff Spicoli and Aquantis Shine, both with 2 forced fumbles on this season. So they can bring the pressure, and they can get home and make a big defensive play. Pierce throwing, but wide open as McMichaels got behind everybody in that secondary. And if he'd been able to catch that in stride, he'd have been going to the house. But, man, what a great play by McMichaels and a great read by Pierce.
And they did this last game, and you're seeing the offense in stride, and they're doing it behind the hands of McMichaels here. And it was such a key all-season piece to get him on this team, for the veteran leadership, but also the plays that he can make over the field.
A 32-yard pass connection. And a 1st and 10. They put it on the ground with Udon breaking out of some tackles, and he keeps moving forward. Boy, I tell you what, you talk about guts. It looked like that play was stopped dead to rights, and all of a sudden, it's a 7-yard gain for Oklahoma City.
Second round pick, 34 pick in the second round right here, 6'2", 190, able to use all that and just kept moving the football, breaking tackles, was not letting them stop them. Good run on first down.
Back to the ground they go with Jacob Brewer, who is not able to move the ball that time. It's 3rd and 3. Quantas Shine making the tackle.
And let's see if Atlanta will send some pressure here to try to calm them down, and they will.
Pierce throwing in stride, and it is caught for a touchdown. What a great play, finding, guess who? Tiberius Bovine, who does so good out of that fullback slot. Of course, we know he has a good career with receptions, and there's another touchdown to add to the stats.
A Texas route over the middle. The linebacker was in man coverage right there and just delivered a dime. I love what they did. The blitz came from that side, and they threw it where the blitz came from right there. Beautiful recognition, and this is a really good football game. Good job by OKC responding after Atlanta scored.
The extra point is good, and it is a 3-point game as they respond with a pretty quick drive of their own, just 6 plays, and able to get it into the end zone for the touchdown to make this a 17-14 game with 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. You know, I don't know, Anthony, if we really would have expected to see a 17-14 score in this first half, but here we are, and it's a great thing.
We always appreciate a good shootout. Both teams are playing like this is their playoff game, and they're not rolling over, and this is exciting football to watch.
Probably keeping an eye on the over-under of 40.5 right now. That pass is incomplete, jarred out. The intended target once again was Arlett. Quickly back to the line. That's one thing, Anthony, that Atlanta has not taken much time in the huddle this evening. Dynasty gonna throw deep down the middle, and there was 3 blue jerseys down there able to jar that one loose. Again, it's for the second straight time. Why not Arlett with the intended pass?
Yeah, and you know, Atlanta is going back over the middle like that, and Oklahoma City is ready for it. Now let's see if they're going to dial up that corner blitz again that caused a little pressure for OKC right here. Big 3rd and 10.
Empty set as Boo Chisholm moves to the top of your screen. Dynasty with plenty of time. Looking, one-handed grab. My goodness, what a play by Ryan Roosevelt.
Yep, and you said it right in there. Protection. Falco, Hollywood, Falco, McCoy, and Smith. That offensive line gave all the time that they needed to throw a strike over the middle. I love it. One-handed catch, was able to catch it in stride. Roosevelt right there for a big first down.
What's coming? That was a nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. You gotta love a one-handed grab in stride. For the first, might we add. Dynasty now throwing out the backfield. Nice screen pass. Positive yards. Taking an 8 now coming up after a good pursuit by Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and pressure was coming. Stay composed. Just dump it off to the running back right there instead of taking the sack or trying to force the football. Recognizing that, the running back can get you a few yards, and that's exactly what happened.
To the ground game they go again with Kimbrell, who gets close. I tell you what, you got that neck roll right there. I mean, just looks like an old school halfback coming at you.
Yeah, that's exactly the way he runs. Just wants to embrace the tackle. And right now, setting up a 3rd and 1, which looks like it'll go back to the ground.
And we see another first down, keeping it on the ground with Hollywood. Methodically moving this football on this drive here with a good mix of pass and run, but heavy on the run to this point.
And that's a good run right there. Be patient. He bowled it out just enough and just waited for the opening and cut inside to get the first down.
Tough carry again by Kimbrell as we get close to the 2-minute warning. Another gain of 8.
Yeah, and right now, offensive line is getting a good push off of the line against the Renegades here. The Renegades needs to respond probably with some blitz to try to stuff those inside runs here, because right now just sitting 4 is not going to do it.
2-minute warning. We've got a good one here in the Sooner State. Tonight it's the Renegade State. Atlanta leading and driving as we reach the 2-minute warning on a SFL Friday night on the Virtual Football Network. On 2nd down, they try to keep it on the ground once more with Hollywood, and nothing there, completely stuffed up the middle, and that's going to bring a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and this time I want to see some pressure from OKC. 3rd down here. You know that they've been favoring the run. Make them do something different here, but OKC has to put some pressure on.
Crowd getting into it tonight, and they're going to come up with the stop. Nowhere to go, and it's Gooden coming up with a real good tackle. A great stop. It's 4th and 1, and we'll see what Atlanta decides to do here as they're going to punt this one away.
Yeah, and good job getting the penetration right there to stop them before getting the first down. I love that the Oklahoma City just gritted down after giving up some big runs and big plays and holding them to a punt.
Gonna let this clock wind down just as far as they can. Play clock down to 5. Less than a minute to go in this first half. As Miller gets this punt away, gonna try to pin him deep here. It takes a good bounce in favor of Oklahoma, and that will be a touchback and brought out to the 20. 50 seconds to go in this first half, Anthony. Do we expect to see Oklahoma come out here with the guns blazing, or on this side of the field, what would you dial up?
I'm going to go with quick passes. I want to see the 3-step drop and see if I can get enough yardage to make it worth it. But to be honest, you've been having a good first half so far.
Pass incomplete. Trying to fit one in there along the right side. Henry over there able to make the deflection. Back to the drawing board for the Renegades. Bovine in motion, throwing and caught. Pierce to Bovine, gain of 7.
Good tackle right there by the defensive back. Just making sure that doesn't go out of bounds, let the clock running. I don't see him in a sense of urgency by OKC. It looks like they're okay taking it to the half.
Yeah, 22 seconds here. Oh, they're going to throw it. No, Pierce is going to step up, get the first, and slide. Smart decision there. Well, we'll see what they want to do with it after getting the first. To me, they look pretty content.
It's been a good half. You was able to have back-to-back drives where you was able to move the football and score on this Atlanta defense.
Pierce now throwing deep to McMichaels, the last play of the half. He gets again behind that secondary. They're able to bring him down, but that could be a concern for Atlanta if they can't dial that in.
You need to make adjustments at halftime here because a few times, Cameron, we've seen them get behind that coverage.
Well, this is the perfect time to make those adjustments. The two teams head back to the locker rooms, and it's halftime here in Oklahoma. Like we said, we got a great one. Atlanta leading 17-14. We welcome you into the SFL halftime report. Camera duty here with Anthony Allison. And Anthony, give me all the thoughts that you may have on this first half and what you expect to see coming up in the third quarter.
I think Atlanta thought that this was going to be a lot easier than they expected just by their sure dominance, especially in that first drive. But you saw Oklahoma City with the grit. They got the pressure, the timely sack that they needed to, and then on offense, back-to-back drives where they just found McMichaels and they had a little bit of the running game, but I think Colin Pierce came to play today. In this half, I want to see adjustments made on both sides of that defense.
We welcome you back, but not before we take a quick halftime break brought to you by Brakes GPT. We'll see you in just a moment.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Break the sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, brakesgpt.com. As we welcome you back to start this second half, Oklahoma City coming out with the football. And I tell you, just what do you think this hometown crowd would do, how they would react if these Renegades are able to march down the field and put up a touchdown to put them in the lead here?
These amazing fans right here will go absolutely crazy. They're already feeling good right now, being able to score the way they're doing it. And I just like that they're just not backing down. Doesn't matter their record, they're going after them.
Yeah, the atmosphere here in the stadium is electric this evening. You know, this fan base excited. You know, they got the first victory of the season, able to get that on the board, and now coming out playing a very tough Atlanta team and hanging in there tight. Second down, Pierce now throwing. Finds a shoestring reception to Tiberius Bovine, who's getting a little more warmed up in this game. We've seen a good first half out of him and continuing to use him in the passing route.
Yeah, and I love the awareness, recognizing where's the first down. So instead of going out, which you usually see younger players do, turns up the field to get the extra yardage to get the first down. I love that awareness.
Bovine, as you see, 4 receptions, 51 yards receiving. And that's a guy that you can use, in the backfield, send him out in a receiver slot. As we say that, Udon gets the carry and gets 2 on the. If I'm going to say that this is one part that you want to be able to see this Oklahoma team kind of, improve upon, spiffy up a little bit this third and fourth quarter, it's going to be on the ground attack, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Absolutely. It all starts by getting that push on the offensive line.
Oh, and Pierce just trying to get around the edge, trying to hold on to that football just a little bit too long to make something happen, hoping something would develop downfield, and Baron Went gets him.
Big time pressure right there. Third down right here, Cameron. You know where it's going to go, where it should go. It's just about if that coverage is going to let it happen for McMichael.
3rd and 13, a quick release, and gonna be a yard short is Bovine. I think they had the right play drawn up, but with that loss they had to take on the sack, just too much ground to have to gain.
And I love that Bovine has been in the passing game really effectively. The fact is that he's gotten a long of 63 yards receiving, like on one play, is actually incredible for a fullback there. And good job by Atlanta just containing, knowing where the first down marker is, and not letting OKC get past it.
It's a good punt by Feagles, pinning Atlanta at their 21-yard line. Quick score update for you. Washington. It's all Washington in the third quarter. 3 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in that ball game as they lead Los Angeles 31-17. So Washington again having another good game. Back here, Dynasty right now struggling just a little bit to connect with his wide receivers. They come out looking completely flawless, and as this game has progressed, that secondary has really tightened up.
Hey, you know what, Cameron? It's just they recognize that Dynasty been wanting the three-step drop passes, the quick passes, and they're getting in the passing lane just enough to disrupt it, to knock it down.
Second and 10, they go back to the ground. That's BDG Hollywood on the carry, and he picks up 4, so a 3rd and 6 now coming up for the Atlanta Swarm.
So you don't want to give the ball back to OKC because they're raving with momentum right now, but you definitely want to get a good completion. You're going to probably see something over that middle.
Yes, somehow Dynasty able to step out of a sack. He runs forward and gets the first. And I tell you what, for Oklahoma, that is discouraging when you think you got him dead to right.
So frustrating right there. Yondo right there was ready, got the tackle. That would have been the sack. That would have got you off the field. Dynasty with having the sense of awareness to get out of that sack and get the first down.
Dynasty, one-handed grab. I don't even know how he was able to come up with that, but a fantastic job nonetheless by Hattori Hanzo. Caught that one-handed and kind of one-footed there. Look at that leap.
And still was able to bring it in and get hit and not drop the ball. That's how you help out your quarterback.
Gets a first down out of it. Atlanta moving the football nicely, getting close to that midfield logo here. They give it to Hollywood, running left, almost shakes out of a tackle. And for Hollywood, that is a guy that, him and Kimbrell both, honestly, but you know, that's somebody, it takes about 2 defenders to wrap him up.
Yeah, and that's just keep moving your legs, and these defenders got to do a better job tackling.
Good pursuit that time, though, by OKC, and a good tackle. That's Aaron Gooden once more. We've called his name a couple of times this evening. Sets up a 3rd and 6 play, and you talked about the third down conversions, averaging 12 per game, most in the league, Anthony.
Yeah, and they've been doing a good job converting on those third downs right here. It's just they have great play routes set up for these type of drives.
Yeah, over 50% completion. We'll see if they get another one here. Dynasty throwing, and that is the reason why. Great play route, great design, finding Siege Falco, and again, able to extend this drive on another third down conversion.
And the key to that play is the block on that defensive end. When you roll out, they had the tackle roll out right there, was able to chip the defender just enough for Dynasty to see the lane that he needed to deliver a strike.
In the field goal range here is Atlanta. That's Hanzo in motion. Oh, and that play is completely blown up as Aaron Gooden comes off the line, knew exactly where he needed to go, makes the tackle for loss of 2 as a matter of fact, and it's 2nd and 12.
Yeah, Aaron Gooden has been just a tackling machine. Outside chance to get 100 tackles this season. He just delivered another great performance.
Oh, again, and somehow Dynasty able to step up. They can't bring the big man down. I know he's a tough target, 6'4", 225 pounds, but man, for OKC, they got to wrap the guy up when they got him there.
And that's the thing. They're calling great plays and getting into the backfield. They have the tackle. That's a big quarterback right there. You can't arm tackle him.
Dynasty pressure, and that time they do exactly what we were talking about up here in the booth. They must have heard you, Anthony. Chinyoneda with the tackle, and that's a huge sack that pushes them to 4th and 11.
Finally got to the sack. Yoneda had a chance earlier in the drive, but that's when Dynasty broke one of the sacks. Now was able to get back in there and finally was able to bring him down.
That is Yoneda's first sack of the season, the 2nd of his whole career. And now for the field goal attempt. Still gets it through again. Like we said, this guy automatic almost, and it is good, and it's a 6-point lead.
Yeah, and you know, it could have been worse right there, but the fact is you got some sacks, and timely sacks too, Cameron. Now you're still a touchdown and you're taking the lead. I'm not mad at that if I'm OKC right there. You know your offense can do it. Now let's see if you could just complete that and take the lead.
Keeping it a 1-score game. It's a touchback in the end zone. 3:49 left in the third. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Folks, we want the SFL to reach more people. Do you? The best way to do that is to smash that like button. Leave a comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, and you can help us reach all the people who need more football in their lives. And as always, we thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network. Pierce throwing on first down. Ooh, that was dangerous. It was up in the air for quite a while. Falls incomplete. Just a little miscommunication there, but it could have went the other way. Very dangerous.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially because this is a very important drive here. While time is running down, you don't want any costly turnovers. Right now, you've been pretty good with not turning the ball over.
Pierce, more time here to stand and deliver. He throws deep, and he found his man. Oh, that's rough. That was Bachagalupi. Not able to hold on to that. He took a shot as the defender just lowered his shoulder and laid the boom on him.
And I was saying, I love that like Pierce climbed the pocket right there. Didn't try to run it, just stepped up, gave himself some more time, and delivered a good strike. Just got to come down with it.
Yeah, Colin Pierce is not afraid, as you said, to climb the pocket, to step up, to roll out, to scurry, to try to make something happen. We've seen him throw up his back foot. Here he goes again, holding the football, but going to Bachagalupi again on third down, and nothing there. Tried to extend that play and make it happen. Good defense downfield by Anthony Wayo.
And Atlanta responds with a good defensive series. Got a little pressure in there, was able to get in Colin Pierce's face, but the fact is it was just good coverage. No pass interference there, just really great coverage by Atlanta.
Needing a good punt by Fegels here, and he does a solid job. We'll see what kind of return Atlanta can get. They get it out to the Oklahoma City 49 is Falco. 3:26 remaining in this third quarter, folks. You're watching the Simulation Football League action right here on the Virtual Football Network. And this week on VFN, we'll feature SFL, of course, tonight, Sunday, Monday, the UFL Tuesday and Thursday, and the SFLN playoffs on Thursday, and back around to the SFL on Friday. So we once again have another week of non-stop action right here on the Virtual Football Network. Dynasty throwing. That's a little bit more like we've seen out of them in the first quarter. That type of route right there that works so well.
And like I said, they're starting with some good field position. one of the times when they did score is because they had good field position and they capitalized on it. Back to that 3-step drop, getting the ball out of Dynasty hands and let the receiver get the run out the catch. That's the formula for Atlanta.
We went into the half with a score 17-14. Only 3 points have been scored since this third quarter. But Atlanta here ready to turn up the heat. A nice screen pass, and Hollywood takes it for the 1st and 10.
And you know what? That's not going to show up in the stat sheets. They're going to think that's a really good route right there. It's a good read. Nobody was guarding that, the running to the halfback out of the backfield. They were just completely looking over the middle, and good job surveying the field, looking to your 1 read, your 2 read, and then your 3rd one wide open.
Play off. They give that to Hanzo, the fullback, getting a carry in and a gain of 5. And this right here is where Oklahoma City has been able to somehow kind of band together and make lemonade out of lemons as far as the drive goes. We'll see if that can continue or if Atlanta can crack the code here this third quarter.
Yeah, they've been holding them from field goals right there instead of touchdowns, so it's been really impressive.
Hollywood again struggling to run up the gut, and we once again find ourselves in another 3rd and short situation. What do you call up here, Anthony?
I'm thinking that OKC is going to send pressure. I would be very weary about running the football. I would look like to try to throw something out of the backfield.
And they will go to the air. They go to the middle of the field, and setting there wide open for the taking is Boo Chisholm, and a 1st and goal now for the Swarm.
Boo Chisholm is 6'4", 210. Perfect route. Let them show you. He showed the numbers to the quarterback there. With that frame, you can block off any defender. I love that play on 3rd down.
And see, this is why I like asking you the tough questions. You always give me good feedback on what you would do, and you're very accurate in that. Hollywood fighting hard, trying to lower that shoulder and churn those legs. He almost gets to the end zone. That's going to be 2nd and goal, but they're very close to their objective here.
When you look at it, Cam, on that 3rd down play, they were in split backs. And the last time they was in that, they ran the football. That time they passed it, which caught OKC off guard, and they was able to get that 1st down.
And they let Hubba Kimbrell take the snap, or the handoff, I should say, and he gets the touchdown, lets him finish that drive, and they are able to extend their lead.
And then that was just good chess play by Atlanta. They did things that looked like one formation, but it was another one there, and they was able to maintain the drive on 3rd down when it was needed. Instead of kicking a field goal, they was able to keep it alive to score a touchdown.
The extra point by Sammy Steele is once again good, and it's a 2-score lead now for Atlanta with 53 seconds to go. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen Atlanta jump out to a 2-score lead tonight. The difference is, Anthony, is we essentially have 10 minutes and 53 seconds to go in regulation. So Oklahoma City, going to have to show us something here starting on this drive.
Yeah, it's not over with yet, but to say Oklahoma City really needs to score here is an understatement. They've been playing really well on offense here. A few stalls. They haven't turned over the football at all. They gave us some sacks, but they just really need to score here.
Pierce throwing quickly over the middle to Bovine, gets a gain of 5. I do like how they've tried to get him more acclimated in what they are doing in this game.
Yeah, it's to have a versatile back that can catch out of the backfield and doing those Texas routes, which are really hard to defend unless you're looking for it. It's been a really good thing for their offense today.
Toss play, left side, Udon. He gets a little bit of ground there. That's going to bring up a quick 3rd and 3 here, as we'll see if they want to get one more play in before we go to the 4th.
Yeah, looks like they'll get that off of their hiking right now.
Throwing is Pierce. Tabachagalupi for the 1st and 10. That's going to set us up for an exciting drive here when we get back after the 3rd quarter break.
Great patience in that pocket.
Folks, 3 down, 1 to go. We go to the 4th frame. Get your 4s up. We'll be looking for them in the chat. You're watching the Virtual Football Network. Little SFL action on a Friday night. And get an opportunity to look at the team stats. Cameron Duty here with Anthony Ellison, Ron Haynes, and Mark Mello in the stats truck, and Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. Pierce pump fakes too much. Oh man, he shouldn't have held on to it that long. Sullivan coming in and getting the sack, and that's a big loss. I tell you what, he was holding that ball for too long, trying to make too much happen in one play.
You don't really see great results when you pump fake in the pocket. It gives the defense time. I know what you're trying to do when you pump fake, but it gives the defense time to go in there to get the sack, and that's just something. If your reads are not open, throw it away or just run with it.
That puts them behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14, and oh my goodness! A complete obliteration of Colin Pierce as he rolls out right into the arms of Chris Henry, and he pays the price.
That's just situational awareness by the rookie right there, number 49, Frank Udon. You got to pick up the block. I think you were looking for a route right there, but that was your assignment to chip the blocker before you went out on your route.
Got to get all the way down to the to the Atlanta 46. Pierce gonna throw, flag on the play. Ooh, this could be interesting. Could we see a PI here?
Yep. I think it was a lot of grabbing after the 5-yard mark.
Yeah, Jeff Spicoli's going to be the perpetrator there. Oh, yeah, you can see it.
Was just timing was off right there. It hit him before the ball got there. Great call by the ref right there. That's a pass interference.
And that completely negates those 2 sacks that we seen on Colin Pierce. And it kind of comes out smelling like a rose at the end of that one. We'll see if they can now take that and kind of project that into a good drive here. Pierce throwing, tipped, and it's intercepted. That's not what you want to see. If you're an Atlanta fan, though, it is. And if you're a fan of Moose Papineau, and at the same time, oh, we've got Hopkins down, a guard here for Oklahoma City. A lot happening on that play, Anthony. Hopefully we can unpack it here.
So what you saw is you saw Atlanta playing a deeper of the coverage. Recognize that they got burnt by McMichaels a few times, and Oklahoma City going to the well, wanting to throw the ball deep, but Atlanta was just ready for it. First turnover, costly turnover for OKC.
Kimbrell, now the name of the game, ground and pound, run the clock down, and they've got the 2 very capable halfbacks that can do just that.
Yeah, you can now dictate and grind out the rest of the game right here. You got 2 quality running backs and an offensive line that is built for this type of ending.
2nd and 6 as we see Airlet going in motion to the bottom of the screen. Keep an eye on him. Well, they hand it to Hollywood, though, shedding a tackle. As I said earlier in this game, it's so interesting. When they give the ball to BDG Hollywood, you almost know that the first tackle isn't going to be enough to get him down. I said that earlier today, but it's always an interesting kind of observation there.
Yeah, with him, you got Brian Dynasty that's wearing off sacks. You got to tackle him.
Oh, that's a nice little cutback by Bootism. We've seen him use him a couple of times in the game in that very manner. And that's been one little area for Oklahoma that they've had a hard time keeping up with there, those little curls.
What's really key to a curl route, Cameron, is not just sitting there after you do the route, is going back to the ball so you can get some momentum there. So what Boo Chisholm did, got to the curl and then went after the ball and attacked it for the first down.
Back to the ground game with Hollywood, who gets a nice, solid gain of 5. And working their way into field goal range once again here is Atlanta. And you got to think, with the time running down, any points that they get could almost, not completely, but could almost be coffin nails for Oklahoma City. But look at this play of Sabo Kanan. Boy, that come at the most opportune time. And if you love defensive football, you love seeing players like that come up and make the big stop.
And that is a big stop right there. Recognizing where the ball was going, shoot the gap. Shooting the gap right there, forcing the blocker to readjust, and it wasn't in time. Great stop here. Big third down coming up. Okay, so you want to get some ball back, want to get the points.
Yeah, big 6 coming up. Dynasty throwing, able to complete it. We've said they've been so good all season long, over 50% completions per game. And again, finding Ryan Roosevelt, they're able to do it again.
And it's so difficult right there to defend that, especially it looks like that was the linebacker on a 6'4" receiver doing the best that he can, but it's just too much 6'4" target over the middle. That's just secure hands.
Kimber with the carry. Oh, bulldozes over the defender who was trying to come up and make a stop there. That was Josh Vasquez who really took a hit. And it's a gain of 5 on first down, 5:39 remaining in this fourth quarter.
And what we saw from Atlanta today has been recognizing mismatches. Receivers on linebackers, running backs on linebackers. They're just exploiting that the best they can.
This time, though, nothing doing, and a good job of Rahman Jr. there, forcing Atlanta in another third down situation. All right, so I'll ask you again, Anthony, 3rd and 5 this side of the field, this stage of the game. Is this when you decide to keep it on the ground, go for the field goal points?
I think they like those curl routes right there.
Oh, they do, but not able to get to it. There is Bryant Dynasty as the big defensive tackle, Jermaine Haley, 305 pounds and a 6'4" frame, wrapping up Dynasty.
Yeah, you gotta find them. You gotta account for them right there. Rip move, pass the offensive guard, and was able to get to a sack. And you know what? That's kudos to OKC's defense. They've been on their heels a lot today and haven't gave up as many touchdowns and not backing away.
Sammy Steele has certainly had a good game, and that kick is once again right down the middle, and that extends the lead. And like you said, though, you got to give credit to this young Oklahoma team. It's a 2-score lead. Now, it's 30-14 here. So, I mean, you know, stranger things have happened, Anthony. But really, even on the losing end of things, if Oklahoma does lose, again, more development and more growth out of this team. I think that's something to be proud of.
Oh, absolutely. You only get better by practicing, by getting game time experience and learning from it. It's only going to make you better into the next season right here when everybody has a year underneath their belt. These rookies are getting live practice right here. They're getting live action, and they're just learning.
Bachigalupi with a great return. And he's going to set them up nicely at the 38-yard line. Came so close to breaking that tackle. Just about able to take that back to the house. And then we would really be looking at a ball game that the script was entirely flipped from what we have seen so far the second half. Pierce rolling out, throwing short to Bovine, who's able to get 2. That's another thing that's changed. We talked about, you know, things that you wanted to kind of work on and improve the second half. The pressure that they've been able to put on Colin Pierce this second half has been almost relentless, and you can see what a difference it's made.
Yeah, and you can see that Pierce has been not ease in the pocket, has to move up, climb up, move around. He's doing the best he can, but they just keeping him like out of their comfort zone.
4:20 remaining in this fourth quarter. Pierce throwing quickly over the head of anyone there that would have had a chance at that one. So back to the drawing board on a 3rd and 8.
And Atlanta has done a remarkable job containing Stephen McMichaels after a crazy first half here. Been really quiet. They've been playing that cover three that's just blanketing that middle.
3rd and 8, almost intercepted. And right there, I think it's just the product of, like we said, just how good Atlanta's defense has really done this 3rd and 4th quarter. The pressure they've put on Pierce got him a little bit rattled, and his throws just not as precise these last 2 quarters as they were before the halftime break.
And great teams make adjustments on the fly. They don't wait for after the game. They look at what beat us in the first half will not beat us in the second half. So they said, hey, you're going to have to throw it to somebody else because we're going to cover McMichaels.
The wide receiver Dallas Sanders goes in motion to the top of the screen. Pierce lets this one go a little too early. It did look like he had someone there breaking on a route that maybe could have reeled that one in. And you can see it just got there a little too early, incomplete. Turn it over with 4:10 left in the game.
Yeah, and that's just another one. It just got away from Colin Pierce right there. Atlanta's defense has really been turning it up here. They can hold on to this ball and end the game.
Score update for you in the other game going on at this same time. Washington putting a beat down on Los Angeles 48-17 with 1:59 remaining in the 4th quarter. Once again, that is Washington beating Los Angeles 48-17. Is that game just about ready to wrap up? I gotta say, Anthony, yeah, the score shows 30-14, and they may be able to put some more points up before this is over, get a breakaway play of the game, who knows. But this game has been closer than what the score actually is going to show at the end of this one.
Oh, this shows a lot of promise for both teams. And I really do commend OKC coming in here and just fighting each and every play here. They had some good drives. They had some good drives on defense and offense. They have a lot of young guys, and they're only going to get better with each game.
I think it's a testament as well to this league, the players and the organization, the people that make up these organizations. Whether you're in a playoff scenario coming down the stretch or you're fighting one game at a time, you never give up. And I think it provides some of the most exciting football. Sometimes if you see players and teams that are not inside that playoff window, Anthony, you see a loss in quality. Not here in the SFL. Everybody keeps playing. Look at Hollywood breaking tackles out of the backfield. He skipped on a shoelace tackle there and kept going. And 1st and 10 for Atlanta.
Yeah, and they played to the final whistle here. You got bonuses and achievement marks that you're going to hit for the season. And I love it. This is a great run. They've been running the ball to that left side really effectively today. And that's just another one. Nice little power O. The tackle and the tight end is the key to that run to kick out that defense in.
A 25-yard run there as we're approaching the 2-minute warning. And Atlanta wanting to try to seal the deal. And they'll let the clock wind down. 2 minutes left to play in this one. Atlanta cruising in this 4th quarter. We'll be right back. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Big thanks to Ron Haynes and Mark Mello and Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. Well, I tell you what, Ron Haynes and Mark Mello, those stats guys putting in the work this evening, really doing a great job making us look and sound good. We certainly appreciate it as a timeout is called by Oklahoma.
Can't do it without them. So I appreciate everybody in this whole team. It's just been a remarkable season, and we got a lot of great football left.
Yeah, we do. Playoffs coming up. Like we said earlier, you would see SFL this weekend, then you got the UFL coming up later in the week, and of course the SFL in playoffs. So you want football all year round, you got it right here on this VFN network. So don't forget to bookmark this page and check out what we've got coming up. Also, Week 13 of the SFL Season 24 continues Sunday, headlined by a battle of two top teams in the SFL, the 7-2 Mexico City Aztecs and the 7-2 Baltimore Vultures at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Other matchups will include Lexington and Nashville, Minnesota and Charleston, and Bossier City and Vancouver, happening all right here on the VFN. And now, Anthony, for both of these teams, let's take a look at, we will actually after this play, let's see where they're headed for the last couple of weeks of play in the regular season. Kneel down, and we'll start to see the time coming off the clock rather quickly. For Atlanta, they get a rest next week, a bye week, and then they finish up their season against the 0-9 Nashville Tempo. So an opportunity here to finish this regular season 6-6 for Atlanta. Very, very feasible.
Yeah, and every game, doesn't matter if you're going to the playoffs, if you're not right here. This is something that you keep fighting for. You practice hard every week to come out here and play and not lay down. And I appreciate both teams doing that, and they're only getting better. This is something that you keep practicing. You bring your rookies in, you play them, you start working on different routes and play designs that can work, and you only build on each and every game. You don't dwell on it. If you're fans, you should be excited because this game does not dictate what the score says right here, Cameron. Both teams played hard.
Yeah, exactly. And for Oklahoma City, they finish with 2 games, more opportunities to improve. They will go to Denver for a divisional matchup in Week 14, and then Week 15 they finish at home against the DC Dragons, a final kneel down, and that should about do it. As far as a breaks GPT play, breakaway play of the game, I think we need to go back and look at that big interception that Colin Pierce had. That really turned the tide and really kind of changed the direction of that third quarter, and that, of course, extended to the fourth, Anthony. As time is going to end here, we'll get your thoughts on that as the buzzer sounds, the whistles blow. Atlanta moves to 5-6. A hard-fought game here tonight in Oklahoma City. What's your final thoughts, my friend?
Two teams that had a really good game plan here. Shout out to Oklahoma City for just keeping it close and keep on fighting through it. But good job bouncing back Dynasty after a potential slip up in the first half here. Dynasty came back 20 for 28 for 251 yards. Good job getting your big targets involved and working the middle of the field here. And good job by that defense for Atlanta getting the sacks they needed. 3 sacks, interception when they needed it. So that was just an all-around great effort by Atlanta.
Take a look at the stats once more as we'll get ready and wrap it up here from Oklahoma. For Cameron Irvine, Ron Haynes, Mark Mello, and my buddy Anthony Ellison, I'm Cameron Duty. You've been watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Have a good night.